to do this topic because this is something that I am very passionate about. So, those of you that know me really, really well know that I love to write. Like, writing is like one of my biggest passions. Like, I write all the time, whether it's making notes or journaling or whatnot. So, I'm gonna split this live into a few different topics, okay? So I'm gonna just keep it on one topic for this live, and then maybe in the future I would do some other topics talking about writing. I'd love to give you guys some tips on how to write, or for those that are new to writing, because I can like think of any topic to write about. I'm that creative when it comes to writing. I just love it. I have a big passion for it. So as far as I can remember, I always used to write. I used to write stories as a kid. My writing style did change over time. So you know when you're a kid and you write in a diary and you put dear diary, like I used to be that kid that used to do that, but I was not consistent with it. The thing with writing is I'm never consistent with writing. So in my 20s, I would say on and off, especially mid 20s, I would say mid 20s I was quite my strongest at writing. Like I did commit to it and I did it in a life-changing way. But other than that, I would journal. So journaling was like my strong topic. But I used like my mid 20s to reflect on things. That's kind of what journaling is. But yeah, I would reflect, but this was like a different thing separate to journaling. So this was like to improve my life, reflecting, like making drastic changes to my life. That's you know that's what I focused on in my mid 20s. But if you guys want me to talk more about that one, I can do that for you. But for now, I'm going to stick to like the journaling side. So, in terms of journaling, what I would do is like every night, it wouldn't be every night, but like whenever I wanted to write, I would choose the night time to write because that would give me time to reflect on my day. Do you know what I mean? So, I would journal at night, especially because it was more peaceful in my house. So there was no noise, no distractions. So it was just me and my thoughts and a pen and paper. And that is when the magic begins. If you have never journaled in your life, you do not know what you're missing because journaling is just wow, it's so powerful. So the thing with journaling is when you read back or read your old entries, you will be taken back to that exact same moment. So if there was like a memory you lived and you completely forgot about it, or if you, I don't know, you don't remember the feelings associated with it, as soon as you read that back, it's like memory lane. You're like literally back in there. You all your five senses are like active. Like you can just remember the feelings, what you could see, your taste buds, what you could hear at that time. And I can't remember all my five senses, but that's fine. We'll leave that for another topic. But yeah, everything would be active, is what I'm trying to say. So it's really good for memory's sake. Um, so I'm gonna base this on like one of my journal entries that I did, which was very, very old. I would say early 20s or mid 20s. I would say I was around mid 20s. And I used to really like dwell on my day. So if it was a bad day, I would let that flow into the rest of like everything that followed during that day. Okay, of course, that is quite natural. Like it's a bit like a domino effect. So when something bad happens, you kind of like just stay like caught up in that moment and thinking, okay, today's going to be a bad day. But why do we do that, guys? Like, why do we like if something bad happens, we stop and think, oh my God, today's a bad day? Or some people say they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, why do we do that when we have the power to change that? Do you know what I mean? Like if our day is starting bad, we do have the power to change it so it turns out to be good because we are more in control than we realize. So looking back at that journal entry, I just remember writing that today was a strange day. And I just remember pages and pages after that, I would complain, I would like, talk about all the bad sides, the bad, the bad sides, the bad sides of my life in that moment, like whatever, if it was associated with work or whatever, I would complain and I'd read back and think, oh my God, wow, like it just makes you realize that you do have to you do have the power to change things, but you also have the power to change what you focus on, is what I'm trying to say. So that's the powerful side of writing. Like you can look back and reflect and think, oh, or you can see that you've changed and grown. Like that's how powerful it is. I do understand that not everybody likes to write, but I love writing, and sometimes I wish I did more of it. So yeah, let's get back onto that topic. So, um, the theme of my writing around that time was always like all my complaints and stuff like that. And I don't regret writing about those things because I can look back now and um see how far I've come in life. And as I'm growing as a person, I can always look back at that and just realize that um I never had the guidance in life. I never had someone to like confide in, um, to tell me like what to do about it, if you know what I mean. So I would talk to people obviously, but you can talk to people all you want, but if you're not getting like any solutions to your problems or like advice or anything like that, you just become stuck and you stay complaining all the time. So that's probably why my journal entry was kind of like toxic in a way, where I would be complaining all the time because obviously there was no solutions. However, writing also offers solutions. So sometimes when you're writing, answers do come to your head and for example, say if I was writing about how miserable I feel at work, for example, as I'm writing that, for example, um, so for example, so many times. So as I'm writing that, um, work is making me miserable, um, if like answers would come to my head, maybe saying that it's time to change your job, is what I'm trying to say. So sometimes when you're writing, it's almost like you're talking to yourself, but you're also getting answers. That's how powerful writing is. It's really a tool in life, and I feel like people do need to invest in a good notebook and a pen just to write, because it is very life changing. I think people underestimate how powerful it is. And the reason why I say this is because every day in life we are passing through life, and there's memories that we're not capturing, but we can capture that through pictures. But there's moments, words that have been exchanged with people, and when you're journaling you can like reflect on your day and you can say, okay, today someone called me pretty, for example, and you write that down, and then when you go back to reading that in like 2 or 3 years time, you will smile, make your heart smile, or things that really make you laugh. When you read that back, you would just like radiate, you will glow from within. I do remember a phrase in my life in my mid-20s when I would read journal entries back, and then I would just feel happy to start my day the next morning. Do you know what I mean? So I would journal in the night before, and then I would read one entry per night, an old one, and I would just look back and think, wow. Or sometimes I would write another journal entry based on what I read, and I would realize that my dreams came true, or there's a memory that I didn't think I'd be able to experience in life. That is the powerful thing about writing. It's so hard to describe it sometimes, but you just kind of realize that life can be so magical, and if you don't take the time to reflect or think about like what's happened in your life or see how far you've come, you won't realize it, because you know how in a year's time life looks different. That's what it's like. So you don't realize the changes until you read back, and you just think, wow. And when you read back journal entries, you do realize how life changes so quick. Like every second of the day, every single day, something is changing for you in your life and nothing stays the same. And that could also be a lesson for people out there that want their life to be the same and want to hang on to old people that are in their lives, want to keep things the same, want to stay in that relationship that's no longer working, or things like that. Life is changing, and if you don't wake up and see the changes, everything's going to just leave you. Well, it's going to leave you anyway, but everything's going to leave you. So to summarize this video, because I feel like I've spoken so much, um, Ryan gives you the tools to realize that life is always changing and you can see how far you've grown. Um, you can also change your perspective on life. So if you feel like your days are just not going how you want them to, you can read that back in the future and realize that that's not what I want to focus on. Like it's not that important anymore. Because sometimes the things we focus on are really not that important, like, but we think they are at the time. There's also a phrase that they say, if it doesn't mean anything to you in 5 years' time, don't stress about it, or something like that. Please write it in the comment section below, because I can't remember what it was, like how it's worded exactly. Yeah, so I've rambled on so much and my brain is so tired, but I feel like I'm unable to summarize all the points. But yeah, writing is a powerful tool. You can change your life with it, literally. You can change perspectives, you can use it to help you grow. You can also use it to get answers as well. So when you're writing, you can get answers that way. um you can also use it as a memory lane. So if you want to revisit memories, you can look back and revisit that. But guys, if you want me to do more videos talking about writing, I can do that for you. I'm going to try and do more talking videos about writing to help those, especially people that want to get into writing but don't know how to. Leave any comments down below if you want to know, like, um how to get back into writing or how to start writing. Also, if you want me to give you some journal questions, I'm very good at writing journal questions, and or intuitive questions as well. And anything, whether it's healing, if you want to write to heal, if you want to write for spiritual growth, anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below, and I look forward to reading your comments. Hopefully this video does make sense, because I feel like I rambled on way too much. But I'm going to leave it here now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.